I can't imitate Dr. Joe Dispenza's exact style, but I can write this versus calm, reflective, neuroscience-inspired, motivational tone, focusing on mindfulness, surrender, faith, and changing your inner state. If you woke up this morning carrying yesterday's problems into today, pause for a moment. Take a slow breath. You do not have to solve everything before the sun rises. You do not have to understand every delay, answer every question, or control every outcome. What if, instead of beginning this morning with worry, you began with trust? What if you reminded your heart, I may not see what God is doing, but God is already working. Take another breath, release the pressure, and allow yourself to enter this day believing that what is beyond your control is not beyond God's reach. Father, this morning I come before you with an open heart. Before I check my phone, before I think about my responsibilities, before I replay yesterday or imagine everything that could go wrong today, I choose to become still in your presence. I recognize that my mind has been running ahead of me, creating scenarios that have not happened, carrying burdens that do not belong to this moment, and asking questions that only time and your wisdom can answer. Today, I choose a different response. I choose to breathe. I choose to become still. I choose to remember that you are God, and I am not required to control everything. Lord, there are things I cannot change this morning. There are situations I cannot fix with my own strength. There are doors I cannot open by force. There are people whose decisions I cannot control. There are answers I cannot manufacture. There are circumstances that require patience. And instead of allowing these things to consume my thoughts, I place them into your hands. I surrender the need to know exactly how everything will work out. I surrender the constant questioning. I surrender the fear of tomorrow. I surrender the pressure to have every answer right now. I surrender the thought that if I worry enough, somehow I can protect myself from disappointment. Teach me that worry is not preparation. Teach me that fear is not wisdom. Teach me that peace does not mean that everything around me is perfect. Peace means that I know I am not facing life alone. God, remind me this morning that my thoughts do not have to control me. I can notice a fearful thought without becoming that thought. I can acknowledge uncertainty without surrendering to panic. I can recognize a difficult situation without allowing that situation to define my entire day. I can pause, breathe, and choose what I allow to occupy my attention when worry rises inside me. Help me return to your presence when my mind says, what if everything goes wrong? Help me answer, God is already working when my mind says, what if I cannot handle this? Help me remember, I do not have to handle everything alone. When my mind says, what if there is no way forward? Remind me that you can create possibilities I cannot yet see. When my heart says, I am running out of time, remind me that your timing is not limited by my anxiety. Father, I release the habit of living in tomorrow. Tomorrow has not arrived, and yet I have spent so many mornings suffering through it in advance. I have imagined conversations that have not happened, failures that have not occurred, problems that may never come, and disappointments that may never become reality. Today, I refuse to spend the present moment paying emotional interest on a debt that does not exist. I return to this moment. I return to this breath. I return to your presence. This morning is a gift. This breath is a gift. This opportunity to begin again is a gift. Lord, help me understand that my circumstances may not change instantly, but I can change the way I meet them. I can enter today with a different heart. I can move from fear toward faith, from confusion toward peace, from desperation toward trust, and from constant mental noise toward stillness. I do not need to know every step before I take the first one. I only need enough faith for today. Give me the wisdom to recognize what I can control and the humility to release what I cannot. If there is something I need to do, show me. If there is something I need to wait for, give me patience. If there is something I need to let go of, give me courage. If there is something I need to learn, make me teachable. If there is something I need to forgive, soften my heart. If there is a door you are preparing to open, help me trust your timing. Father, I pray for the person listening to this prayer who woke up tired because their mind never truly rested. They may have smiled yesterday while carrying invisible pressure. They may have told everyone, I am fine, while privately wondering how everything will work out. They may be facing financial pressure, family concerns, uncertainty about the future, disappointment, or a decision they do not know how to make. Meet them in that place. Let them know that they do not have to carry the entire future in their mind this morning. Give them peace that is deeper than circumstances. Give them clarity where there has been confusion. Give them strength where they have felt weak. Give them patience where they have demanded immediate answers. Give them courage to take the next right step. And most importantly, remind them that their story is still unfolding. Sometimes we become anxious because we judge an unfinished chapter as though it were the final page. We look at what is happening today and assume this is how everything will remain. But God, you see beyond the moment. You see what I cannot see. You know what I do not know. You understand connections, timing, opportunities, lessons, and possibilities that are invisible to me. So I choose not to make permanent conclusions from temporary circumstances. I will not allow one difficult morning to convince me that my entire future is hopeless. I will not allow one disappointment to define my identity. I will not allow one closed door to make me believe there are no doors ahead. I will not allow uncertainty to steal today's peace. God is already working, even when I cannot see it, even when I cannot understand it, even when nothing appears to be changing. I choose to trust that there are things happening beyond my awareness. Lord, help me cultivate a mind that returns to peace again and again. When negative thoughts appear, help me respond with truth. When fear speaks loudly, help me listen for your stillness. When I become overwhelmed by everything I need to accomplish, remind me to take one step at a time. I don't need to carry the entire staircase today. I only need to take the next step. Teach me to begin my mornings intentionally. Before the demands of the world enter my mind, let me establish peace within. Let the first voice I listen to be the voice of truth. Let the first thought I entertain be one of gratitude. Let the first decision I make be to trust you. Thank you for another morning. Thank you for another opportunity. Thank you for another breath. Thank you that yesterday is finished and today has not yet been written. I cannot rewrite yesterday, but I can choose how I enter today. I can choose gratitude. I can choose patience. I can choose courage. I can choose faith. I can choose peace. And when I forget, bring me back. Father, I pray that today I will become less obsessed with controlling outcomes and more committed to controlling my response. I cannot control every person. I cannot control every circumstance. I cannot predict every event, but I can choose whether I will respond with wisdom or panic. I can choose whether I will nourish fear or feed faith. I can choose whether I will remain trapped in yesterday or become present in today. Help me become conscious of what I am repeatedly thinking. If I keep rehearsing fear, help me interrupt that pattern. If I keep expecting the worst, help me recognize that expectation is not prophecy. If I keep remembering old disappointments, help me understand that the past is a teacher, not a prison. Let my mind become a place where peace has room to grow. Let my heart become a place where gratitude is stronger than complaint. Let my words become words of life. Let my decisions come from clarity rather than panic. Let my actions come from wisdom rather than desperation. And when I encounter something unexpected today, help me pause before reacting. Give me enough inner stillness to ask, what is the wisest response? Instead of immediately asking, why is this happening to me? God, I trust you with the things I understand and the things I do not understand. I trust you with the opportunities I see and the opportunities I cannot yet see. I trust you with my relationships, my responsibilities, my future, and the questions that remain unanswered. I trust you with the doors that have closed. I trust you with the doors that have not yet opened. I trust you with the timing. I trust you with the process. And I trust you with myself. This does not mean I will do nothing. It means I will do what I can while refusing to be destroyed by what I cannot control. I will work, but I will not worship my work. I will plan, but I will not panic when plans change. I will prepare, but I will not assume that preparation gives me control over everything. I will take responsible action while leaving room for your direction. Lord, give me the courage to move forward even when I do not have complete certainty. Sometimes we wait for perfect confidence before taking a step. But perhaps faith means taking the step while trusting that clarity will come along the way. Help me stop demanding that the entire road become visible before I begin walking. If you have given me light for one step, let me take that step. If I need to wait, let me wait without anxiety. If I need to move, let me move without fear. If I need to rest, let me rest without guilt. And if today brings something I did not expect, help me remember that an unexpected event is not automatically a bad event. Sometimes life changes direction because something new is being revealed. Further, I declare over this morning that worry will not be the atmosphere of my mind. I choose peace. I choose trust. I choose presence. I choose gratitude. I choose to believe that I am not forgotten. I choose to believe that my current situation is not the complete story. I choose to believe that there are possibilities beyond what I can currently see. I choose to believe that God is already working. When I cannot see the answer, I will trust the one who sees the whole picture. When I cannot understand the process, I will trust the one who understands the purpose. When I feel delayed, I will not assume I am denied. When I feel lost, I will pause and seek direction. When I feel overwhelmed, I will breathe and return to the present. And when fear tells me that everything depends on me, I will remember that I am not God. I am a human being allowed to live one day at a time. Thank you, Father, for removing the weight of tomorrow from my shoulders. Thank you for teaching me that peace can begin before circumstances change. Thank you for reminding me that I can wake up and choose a different internal state. Today, I will not spend my morning predicting disasters. Today, I will not allow yesterday's disappointment to become today's identity. Today, I will not punish myself for things I cannot change. Today, I will take care of what is in front of me. I will breathe deeply. I will think carefully. I will speak wisely. I will act courageously. And I will trust you with the rest. If something needs to be solved, give me wisdom. If something needs to be released, give me strength. If something needs to be endured, give me patience. If something needs to be changed, give me courage. And if something simply needs time, teach me to wait without worry. Lord, as I step into this morning, Let my heart be lighter than it was when I woke up. 8. Let me remember that I do not need to have every answer to have peace. I do not need to see the whole plan to trust the planner. I do not need to control every outcome to live this day faithfully. 8. I release my need to know. I embrace my opportunity to trust. I release the fear of what might happen. I embrace the reality of what is happening right now. I am here. I am breathing. 8. I have another day and I have another opportunity to begin again. So I breathe in peace. I release tension. I breathe in gratitude. I release fear. I breathe in faith. 8. I release the need for control. And I remind my heart one final time, stop worrying. God is already working, even in the silence, even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty. Even when the answer has not appeared, even when the situation looks unchanged, I will trust the process. I will take the next right step. I will remain present. I will remain grateful. I will remain open to what this day may bring, and I will not allow fear to steal a morning that God has given me as a gift. Father, go before me today. Guide my thoughts, my words, my decisions, and my actions. Keep me grounded when circumstances become difficult. Keep me humble when things go well. Keep me patient when answers are delayed. Keep me courageous when I am afraid. And keep reminding me that I am not required to know everything. I place this day into your hands. I place my worries into your hands. I place my future into your hands. And I choose to walk forward with peace. What I cannot see, you can see. What I cannot understand, you understand. What I cannot control, I release. And what I can do today, I will do with faith, wisdom, and gratitude. This morning, I choose not to live from fear. I choose to live from trust. I choose to believe that something good can still emerge from uncertainty, that lessons can come from difficulty, that new opportunities can appear after disappointment, and that my current circumstances do not have the authority to define my entire future. I will breathe. I will pray. I will move forward. And I will remember throughout this day that I do not walk alone. God is already working. Amen. And as I continue this day, Lord, help me remember that peace is not something I have to wait for until every problem disappears. Peace can begin right here in the middle of uncertainty. It can begin while questions remain unanswered. It can begin while I am still waiting for the breakthrough, while I am still learning, while I am still healing from disappointment, and while I am still trying to understand what the next chapter will look like. Teach me not to postpone peace. So many times I tell myself, when this problem is solved, then I will relax. When I receive that answer, then I will be happy. When this situation changes, then I will have peace. But today I realize that I have been giving my peace away to circumstances. I have been allowing external events to determine the condition of my inner world. Father, teach me a better way. Let me understand that I can face an uncertain situation without becoming an uncertain person. I can experience difficulty without becoming consumed by difficulty. I can encounter disappointment without allowing disappointment to become my identity. I can have unanswered questions and still possess a peaceful heart. This morning, I choose to return to the present moment. I feel the breath moving through my body, and I recognize that this moment is real. I do not need to live inside imaginary futures. I do not need to replay conversations that have already ended. I do not need to keep rewriting yesterday in my mind. I am here now, and you are here with me. Lord, help me become aware of the moments when my thoughts begin racing. Help me recognize when my mind starts creating stories that have no evidence. Help me notice when I am assuming the worst and treating that assumption like a fact. Give me the wisdom to say, this is a thought, not a prophecy. Give me the strength to say, I do not know what tomorrow will bring, but I know I can meet tomorrow when it arrives. Give me the courage to say, I refuse to suffer twice, once in imagination and again in reality. Today I choose to live in what is true. I am here, I am breathing, I have another opportunity, I can take another step. I can ask for wisdom, I can seek help when I need it. I can learn, I can grow, I can begin again, and most importantly, I can trust you. Father, there are moments when I wonder why you have not answered yet. Sometimes I pray and then become discouraged because I do not immediately see a change. Sometimes I mistake silence for absence. Sometimes I assume that because I cannot see movement, nothing is happening. Teach me patience. Teach me that silence does not always mean nothing is happening. Teach me that waiting can be part of preparation. Teach me that not every delay is a denial. Teach me that sometimes I am being prepared for what I have been praying for. Maybe the answer requires a different version of me. Maybe I need greater wisdom. Maybe I need greater patience. Maybe I need to release something. Maybe I need to learn something. Maybe the timing is not yet right. Whatever the reason, Lord, help me trust you without needing to understand every detail. I do not want to spend the waiting season complaining about the fact that I am waiting. I want to use the waiting season to become stronger, wiser, calmer, and more prepared. If I am waiting for an opportunity, prepare me. If I am waiting for direction, teach me. If I am waiting for restoration, strengthen me. If I am waiting for change, give me patience. If I am waiting for an answer, give me peace. And if the answer eventually looks different from what I imagined, give me the maturity to recognize that your wisdom may be greater than my expectations. Lord, help me stop confusing control with security. I have tried to control outcomes because I thought control would make me safe. I have tried to predict everything because I thought prediction would protect me. I have tried to anticipate every possible problem because I believe that constant worry could prevent pain. But worry has never given me tomorrow's answers. Worry has only stolen today's strength. So today I release it. I release the endless mental rehearsals. I release the constant what if. I release the pressure to know everything. I release the need to have everyone understand me. I release the need to make every person happy. I release the need to prove myself. I release the fear of being behind. I release the fear that my life must happen according to a specific timeline. Father, help me trust that my journey does not have to look like anyone else's. I do not need to compare my progress with another person's progress. I do not need to look at someone else's life and conclude that I am failing because their circumstances appear different. Let me focus on the path you have placed before me. Let me appreciate small progress. Let me celebrate small victories. Let me recognize the things that are improving, even if they are improving slowly. Sometimes we overlook the evidence of growth because we are waiting for something dramatic, but growth can be quiet. Transformation can be gradual. A new mindset can begin with one thought. A new habit can begin with one decision. A new season can begin with one courageous step. So today, Lord, I will not despise small beginnings. I will take the next step and then the next. And then the next. I will not demand that my entire life change in one morning. I will simply become faithful with today. Father, help me understand that my responsibility is obedience, not obsession. I can do my part without carrying the responsibility for every outcome. I can work hard without becoming consumed. I can prepare without panicking. I can pursue my goals without believing that everything depends on my ability to control circumstances. Let my effort come from peace instead of fear. Let my ambition be guided by wisdom instead of insecurity. Let my decisions be guided by purpose instead of pressure. And when I accomplish something, help me remain grateful instead of becoming consumed by the next achievement. Teach me to live rather than constantly chase the next moment. There will always be another task. There will always be another goal. There will always be another problem to solve. If I am not careful, I can spend my entire life waiting for the moment when everything is finally complete. But perhaps there is no such moment. Perhaps life is not about reaching a place where nothing needs attention. Perhaps life is about learning how to remain grounded while things are moving and changing around me. So Lord, give me grace for today, not tomorrow's grace, not next month's strength, not next year's wisdom. Give me what I need for this day. If today's challenge requires patience, give me patience. If today's conversation requires kindness, give me kindness. If today's decision requires courage, give me courage. If today's work requires focus, give me focus. If today's uncertainty requires trust, give me trust. And when today is finished, help me release it instead of carrying it into tomorrow. Father, I pray for freedom from the habit of mentally carrying everything everywhere I go. I do not want to sit at breakfast while thinking about tomorrow. I do not want to work while worrying about yesterday. I do not want to spend time with people I love while my mind is somewhere else. Help me become present. When I eat, let me appreciate the meal. When I speak, let me listen. When I work, let me focus. When I rest, let me rest. When I pray, let me be present with you. When I walk, let me notice the world around me. When I have a conversation, let me give that person my attention. Teach me the beauty of being where my feet are. Because this moment will never return. This morning will never return. This exact day will never return. So I refuse to sacrifice it to fear about a future I cannot control. Lord, I know that some problems are real. I am not pretending that difficulties do not exist. I am not denying responsibilities. I am not ignoring reality. I am simply choosing not to magnify fear beyond its rightful place. I will face reality with wisdom. I will face challenges with courage. I will seek appropriate help when I need it. I will make responsible decisions, but I will not surrender my entire inner world to fear, because fear may knock on the door, but I do not have to invite it to stay. When anxious thoughts arrive, help me pause. When pressure rises, help me breathe. When confusion appears, help me seek wisdom. When discouragement comes, help me remember what you have already carried me through. Lord, there are things in my past that once seemed impossible, yet I survived them. There are moments when I thought I would never find my way through, yet I eventually did. There were seasons when I did not know what would happen next, and yet I arrived here. Let my history remind me that uncertainty does not mean disaster. I have experienced difficult moments before. I have learned before. I have adapted before. I have started over before. And I can take another step now. Father, let gratitude become an anchor for my mind. Before I focus on what is missing, help me notice what is present. Thank you for life. Thank you for another morning. Thank you for the ability to think, learn, speak, create, work, love, and begin again. Thank you for the people who have supported me. Thank you for lessons that made me wiser. Thank you for doors that opened. Thank you even for doors that closed when I did not understand why. Thank you for the moments that taught me patience. Thank you for the experiences that strengthened my character. Thank you for the future I cannot yet see. Sometimes gratitude changes the question. Instead of asking, why don't I have everything I want, I can ask, what has already been placed in my hands? Instead of asking, why is everything taking so long, I can ask, what can I learn while I wait? Instead of asking, what if everything goes wrong, I can ask, what is the next wise thing I can do? Instead of asking, why me, I can ask, how can I respond with courage? Lord, transform the quality of my questions, because better questions can create better directions. When I feel overwhelmed, help me ask, what is within my control today? When I feel lost, help me ask, what is the next right step? When I feel discouraged, help me ask, what can this moment teach me? When I feel afraid, help me ask, what would trust look like right now? And when I cannot find an answer, help me become comfortable saying, I don't know yet. There is freedom in not knowing everything. I do not need to have every answer. I do not need to predict the future. I do not need to understand every person's motives. I do not need to know exactly how every prayer will be answered. I only need to remain faithful with the light I have today. Father, help me become emotionally and spiritually grounded. Let my inner world become less dependent on external circumstances. If someone praises me, let me remain humble. If someone criticizes me, let me remain grounded. If plans succeed, let me remain grateful. If plans fail, let me remain teachable. If the day goes smoothly, let me appreciate it. If the day becomes difficult, let me remember that difficulty is not the same as defeat. I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming more aware, and I am discovering that peace is a practice. It is something I return to again and again. Every time fear appears, I return. Every time worry appears, I return. Every time disappointment appears, I return. I return to breath. I return to prayer. I return to truth. I return to gratitude. I return to trust. And I return to the reminder that God is already working. Father, when I cannot see the entire picture, help me trust the one who can. When I see only a closed door, you may see another path. When I see an ending, you may see a beginning. When I see a delay, you may see preparation. When I see uncertainty, you may see possibilities. When I see weakness, you may be teaching me dependence. When I see a problem, you may be developing wisdom in me. Help me not to judge the entire story from one page. Help me not to call something hopeless simply because it is difficult. Help me not to call myself a failure because one plan did not work. Help me not to believe that one season determines my entire life. This morning, I give myself permission to begin again. I do not have to be the same person I was yesterday. I can think differently. I can respond differently. I can make a different choice. I can establish a healthier rhythm. I can become more patient. I can become more present. I can become more intentional. And I can trust that transformation often begins quietly. It may begin with one thought, one breath, one prayer, one decision, one conversation. One act of courage, one moment when I choose peace instead of panic. Lord, let this be one of those moments. Let this morning become a turning point, not because every circumstance changes instantly, but because my response changes. I refuse to begin this day as a prisoner of yesterday. I refuse to allow fear to write today's story. I refuse to spend precious energy fighting imaginary battles. I will face what is real. I will handle what is mine to handle. And I will surrender what is beyond me. God, you are already working in ways I cannot see. So I will stop demanding visible evidence every moment. I will continue doing what is right. I will continue learning. I will continue praying. I will continue moving forward. and I will allow time to reveal what I cannot understand today. As this morning continues, remind me of this prayer when I forget. When something unexpected happens, whisper to my heart, breathe. When something goes wrong, remind me, this moment is not the whole story. When I become overwhelmed, remind me, one step at a time. When I become impatient, remind me, trust the process. When I become afraid, remind me, you are not alone. And when I begin worrying about what tomorrow might bring, remind me, tomorrow belongs in tomorrow. Today is enough. Father, I place this day into your hands once again. I place my plans into your hands. I place my expectations into your hands. I place my unanswered questions into your hands. I place my fears into your hands. I place my relationships into your hands. I place my responsibilities into your hands. I place my future into your hands. And I ask you to help me carry only what I am meant to carry. Let me walk through this day with a clear mind and a steady heart. Let me not be ruled by urgency. Let me not be controlled by comparison. Let me not be driven by fear. Let me be guided by wisdom. Let me be strengthened by faith. Let me be anchored in gratitude. Let me be present in each moment. And when I reach the end of this day, let me be able to look back and say, I did not waste today worrying about what I could not control. I lived it. I prayed through it. I learned through it. I trusted through it. Lord, I understand now that worrying cannot add certainty to an uncertain future. It cannot guarantee protection. It cannot force an answer. It cannot control another person's decisions. It cannot change yesterday, but trust can change the way I experience today. So I choose trust. I choose to believe that even when I cannot see movement, my life is still unfolding. I choose to believe that even when I feel stuck, there are lessons and possibilities around me. I choose to believe that even when I do not understand the timing, I can still remain faithful. I choose to believe that my responsibility is to walk faithfully, not to control every destination. I choose to believe that peace is possible before the answer arrives. And I choose to remember that God is already working. Therefore, I will not spend this morning trying to force the future. I will meet today with an open heart. I will do what I can. I will release what I cannot. I will trust what I do not yet understand. I will remain patient with the process. I will remain compassionate toward myself. I will remain grateful for what I have. And I will keep moving forward. Further, as I close this prayer, let these words remain with me long after this moment ends. When I leave this quiet place and begin the responsibilities of the day, let the peace I have found here travel with me. Let it enter my conversations. Let it influence my decisions. Let it shape my reactions. Let it remind me to pause before responding and to think before assuming the worst. If the day becomes difficult, I will breathe. If the day becomes confusing, I will seek wisdom. If the day becomes disappointing, I will remain hopeful. If the day becomes overwhelming, I will take one step at a time. And if the day becomes beautiful, I will stop long enough to appreciate it. I will not wait for life to become perfect before I allow myself to experience gratitude. I will not wait for every question to be answered before I choose peace. I will not wait for every door to open before I walk through the doors that are already available. I will not wait until I understand everything before I trust you. Today, I choose to live awake. I choose to live present. I choose to live grateful. I choose to live with courage. I choose to live with faith. And I choose to remember that I am not responsible for controlling the entire universe. I am responsible for how I respond to the moment in front of me. So I release the burden. I release the fear. I release the endless questioning. I release the pressure. I release the need to know exactly how everything will happen. And I receive peace. I receive patience. I receive courage. I receive wisdom. I receive gratitude. I receive the strength to take the next step. This morning, I declare that worry will not have the final word. Fear will not have the final word. Uncertainty will not have the final word. Yesterday will not have the final word. My current circumstances will not have the final word. I will continue. I will grow. I will learn. I will trust. I will pray. I will move forward, and I will remember that the story is still being written. God is already working, even now, even here, even in the things I cannot see, even in the waiting, even in the silence, even in the uncertainty. So I can breathe, I can let go, I can step forward, and I can begin this day with peace. Amen. As you step into this morning, carry one simple truth with you. You do not have to solve your entire life today. You do not have to understand every delay, predict every outcome, or carry every possibility inside your mind. Take the next right step. Give your best to what is in front of you, and release what belongs beyond your control. Let your thoughts become calmer, your heart become steadier, and your faith become deeper. Whatever you are facing today, meet it one moment at a time. Do not let fear convince you that unfinished chapter is the end of the story. Keep walking, keep praying, keep learning, and keep trusting. There may be things happening beyond what you can presently see, and there may be answers developing in ways you cannot yet understand. So stop worrying. Breathe deeply, be present, do what you can, leave the rest in God's hands. The future does not need your panic. It needs your patience, wisdom, courage, and faith. And when you feel uncertain again, return to this truth. You are not required to know everything. You are only required to take the next step. God is already working.